Welcome back to your home garage, and in this video I'm going to change the spark plugs and the coil packs on this 2012 Fiat 500. Now you're going to need some tools, and they consist of the following: an 8 and 10 millimeter socket, extensions and ratchet, a smaller torque wrench for the spark plugs, spark plug gap tools such as this dial and feeler gauge, a 5/8 spark plug socket. Now I like to use the one with the rubber grommet inside, which holds onto that spark plug. A tray for those miscellaneous fasteners, some dielectric grease, a mini long nose pliers, and screwdriver. Paper towel is always handy to have on site, and an air compressor or a blower. Then we have our brand new spark plugs, which we will set the gap on, along with our coil packs. In addition, I'll place the link of this product in the description below. So for me, I always make it a habit of disconnecting the battery if I'm doing anything mechanical under the hood. Now you may choose to skip this step, but for me, it's just a best practice. Now, if you're wondering what the socket size is, it's just a small ratchet with a 10 millimeter socket on it. In addition, you always want to work on an engine that's cool or cold, not hot. For safety, you should always have a pair of protective eyewear on and gloves. Your air compressor will come in handy multiple times, so clean off the engine and remove any of the loose debris. Next, remove the engine cover, which can easily be disconnected by pulling it up. With the engine cover removed, give it another blast of air to remove any of that loose debris. Now, the reason you're doing this so many times is to reduce the probability of having dirt or debris going to the internal part of your engine. To remove the airbox, we have 3 screws, 2 on the side and 1 right in the back. And with an 8 millimeter socket, you'll loosen each one of those bolts. Just note that the 8 millimeter bolts will loosen, but they will not come out of the airbox. They're permanently attached to it. So just loosen them, and then when you're ready, you'll be able to pull off the airbox. Now for the third or last one, which is right at the back of the airbox. It's hard to get the camera in there, but you'll be able to see it. Now with the bolts loose, you've got about 4 hoses that you need to contend with in order to remove the airbox. With the air intake hose, just wiggle it off gently. And just place it to the side so it's out of the way. The hose on top just pulls out. Then use an 8 millimeter socket to loosen the hose towards the back. And just slide that one off. There is one more hose on the back. It just needs to be lifted off the tracks of the airbox. And there you have it. Airbox removed. Because I'm going to be using the air compressor a few times, I'm just placing a piece of paper towel inside the snorkel. Again, another blast of air to remove any loose debris that was under the airbox. Just so it's out of my way, I am going to remove the breather hose from the PCV valve. And this easily dislodges by pulling it off. Now I've got the coil packs fully accessible. We're going to do one spark plug at a time. On the coil pack, pull the yellow clip. This will disconnect it from the electrical connector. Push down on the black tab and then pull straight towards you. Using a 10mm socket, remove the coil pack bolt. And the coil pack should pull out for easy removal. Before we remove the spark plug, blow out the inside of the chamber to remove any loose debris. With your 5/8 spark plug socket and extension, remove the spark plug. These deep chambers are why you use the socket with the rubber grommet on it. That's the little thump sound I was waiting for to tell me that the spark plug is fully removed. I'm going to be using a feeler gauge and I have to set the gap to 0.040, which is the recommended gap for the Fiat 500. Here I have a 0.035 and what I need to do is find the 0.005, which will make up my 0.040. I'll try my best to show this to you on the camera, but these two tongues make up the 0.040 I need. Some of your spark plugs will come pre-gapped, but always check them before installation. These ones are not, so we'll have to adjust them accordingly. 0.040 doesn't go in there nicely and you don't want to force it in because you don't want to damage that center electrode. On my dial gauge, there is a hook that opens and closes the ground electrode. Be really careful not to damage the electrode tip when you're adjusting the gap open or close on the spark plug, so just take your time. You may have to do this a few times as you want a snug fit with your feeler gauge. That one's all set, ready to go. Off camera, I pre-gapped the other three, so now we could prep them for installation. What I'm doing is I'm placing some dielectric grease on the ceramic portion of the spark plug. This will help with moisture and corrosion. What I won't be doing is placing oil or anti-seize on the threads of the spark plug. Today's general rule is not to place anything on the threads of the spark plug. That can cause you to over tighten the plugs, which in turn could lead to a misfire. As we finish coating the ceramic on the last spark plug, we'll do something very similar to the coil packs. With a Q-tip, place a little bit of dielectric grease on the inside of the coil. This again will help with moisture and corrosion. Place the spark plug in the socket and make sure it's a nice snug fit in that rubber grommet. Now, put it down the chamber and hand tighten it. For the 2012 Fiat 500 1.4, the torque is 25 to 30 newton meters or 15 to 22 foot-pounds. So I set mine to 18 foot-pounds or 25 newton meters, basically splitting the difference. Now just drop in the coil pack and push it down until it's snug. The bolt just has to be snug. Now push in the electrical connector and ensure that yellow tab is pushed all the way in to secure the lock. It's going to be the same procedure for the remaining 3 spark plugs. Loosen the yellow tab. Remove the connection. Remove the bolt for the coil pack. Out comes the old coil. Blow out the cylinder. Remove the old spark plug. Drop in the new one. Torque at the spec. Drop in the new coil. And then just complete the connection. Here's the process one more time. Now in case you want to see the fourth and final spark plug, here it is. Or you could just skip this part and move directly to the reassembly. And there's your easy install of 4 spark plugs and coil packs. Now we could put everything back together. Reconnect the breather hose. Remove the paper towel from the snorkel. Place the airbox back in place. And start reconnecting the hoses, which will make the screws a lot easier to line up. With your 8mm, start to tighten the 3 bolts. Lastly, there's the 8mm bolt on the snorkel. Reconnect the battery. Lastly, press the engine cover back into place. Now with everything back together and all the tools safely put away, the only thing left to do is to start it up to make sure it runs properly. There you have it, a quick and easy tutorial on how to change the spark plugs and coil packs on your Fiat 500. So make sure you help to keep this channel going by hitting that like button, sharing this video with a friend. Also please comment below as I reply to all. Plus don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Your Home Garage.